Things have been crazy. Work has been crazy. Expecting grandbaby. It's like, oh man, life has been a little bit hectic, but trading's still been going on. I don't know when I last left off, but these are the trades I'm sitting in right now. I'm just currently waiting for things to set up as it sits right now. So I had a trade earlier in this. I believe I took a bounce somewhere off of this right here. Got into that. So I'm just like, it's a mess right now. So that's not a relevant area. This was a relevant area on the 4 hour, but I never actually got into anything there, and it's already bounced away from it. So that's no longer relevant. So just clean up, look at what's going on, see how things play out. Looks like we're in a downtrend. Could we get a possible bounce here? So I'm waiting for that. Odd CHF. Same thing as odd CAD, except odd CAD actually did come back into this level. We did not get that on the 4 hour here, but we steadily started falling down anyway. So I don't know, might not touch that. Next zones down there. Just patience. Just patiently set up. Practice what you've been learning. Set up for your trade, and then patiently wait. That's probably the hardest part, is the idea of wanting to sit here. You see the market move, and you're like, oh, I could have been in this whole move right here if I would have just gotten in right there. And it's like, yeah, but unless your trading plan told you to get in right there, you wouldn't be in this trade. And so, yeah, as it sits, I wouldn't be in this trade. So I was looking for a particular bounce there on these lower time frames. It did come, but it did not set up for me, so I didn't take it. And then what are we waiting for next? I'm waiting for these highs up here to be touched. Might clean this area up down here, because now if price turns back around and comes back in there, then that's a valid one too. And so that's all part of what we're doing, just setting up trades and waiting. So hopefully you guys are on the chart. If you're on the chart, just look at what you're looking for, set everything up, see how things go. I don't like this one anymore, and just patiently wait. Looking to do some recap lessons of the things that I've learned, and the things that I teach my son Nathaniel as he takes trades. He's been doing some pairs here and there, and he's getting pretty well. He just needs a little bit more practice. We're actually supposed to be going through a back testing session probably the end of today when he actually gets off work, which will actually be soon now. He should be getting picked up. So as it sits though, marking up levels, seeing what price is doing. These probably look better on the lower time frame. But this is where like some of these trades are relatively easy. I mean, you wait for a clear zone to be broken. You're waiting for some sort of either confirmation or just some sort of understanding of what you're trying to go for. And I mean, even if you just click up for half a bounce, you can get a 1-to-1. This one here, if you would have just done half of the zone, you would have already hit your 1-to-1. And so you don't have to shoot for the moon. You don't have to, okay, this is a downtrend. I'm going to go all the way down to this lower low here with, I'm expecting a lower low. I'm expecting to break this area. And I'm just going to take this trade here and do a 1-to-7. It's like, you may get those. You may get those every now and then. But, if you lose 5 trades in the process of getting this 1-to-7, sure, you're up 2R. But what does that do for your psychology? If you're not mentally, emotionally prepared to take 5 back-to-back losses to wait for this one to play out, you're not going to make it. So start something small. Start with a simple, like 1-to-1, and then start progressing out from that. You can start seeing how things play out. You can start having multiple positions, multiple take targets. Maybe you go 1-to-1, but then you allow some runners to go. Set yourself break even, let it be a risk-free trade, and go. And if it makes it, it makes it. If not, then you're good to go. So but that all takes time getting into the market, seeing these things play out time and time and time again. So that would be the benefit there, is you've got to get in the markets. You've got to see these things play out over and over again till it becomes second nature and it's just consistent to you. So yeah, that's as it sits right now. I'm actually going to get back to work. Like I said, I already have a lot of this stuff already set up on what I'm looking for. And so it's already either happened or I'm currently managing it. I really have nothing else left. If an alert goes off, then, we'll hop back on. We'll see how things are playing out. But until then, it's just a waiting game. So if that's you right now and you're in a waiting pattern, set your alerts, go away, go do something else, and only come back to the charts when the charts tell you need to come back. Don't sit on the charts. Don't sit there and watch it. The only time you should be sitting here watching a chart is when you're actually back testing. Then you should actively be engaged on the chart. Other than that, you've already done your prep work. You've already done your planning. Let that work for you. So take care, and I'll see you in a bit. No new alerts going off, but just wanted to come on here and just do a quick little view over what's going to go on as price continues to go. I'm still trying to find a way. I still have that desire to want to get into a trade. Like, I'm sitting here and I have no alerts going off. I have some trades going on here that I could have, there's things I could be doing with them, but I just haven't yet, because they haven't either hit my alert or anything like that on what I'm waiting on. But it's like, where there are opportunities for those things to happen. And so looking down like odd NZD, one of the things, if we were to basically clean up this area and try to look at as much as we can, what price has been doing. We had this area here where price had respected, come around, broke behind, and then broke above again. And we got this wick rejection there. And so unfortunately, my whole entire reason of being in this trade, it would have been success. We would have closed it down there. The only problem that I ran into is when I set my buy stop, instead of setting it properly, I set it at the wrong area. And so as soon as I clicked set, it triggered me in. It was supposed to be up here someplace. But instead, I basically placed two trades roughly at the same location. And so it's like I could close both of them right now. And it would be just a small $2 whatever loss instead of the full $22 or whatever it is. But there's other ways to manage it. And so it's like, what do I do? How do I handle that? And so it's like, I'm looking at these areas, and it's like I have this trend line area here where it looks like we've respected repeatedly. We have a zone here that's been respected and shown a rejection from there. So it's like, do we expect the next candles to continue up, or at least a bounce? And so it's like, I could have, when looking at this area here, if I expected some sort of reaction, especially after this, basically this sort of funneling effect here, I could have liquidated my sell position there, held on to the buy, and then basically close it when it comes close to break even. And that would just get me out at roughly break even, maybe a little bit of profit. But, I missed that opportunity. So what are the next steps? Well, really, it's down to this level here. I was waiting. I had this alert as well, waiting for price to come and ping this, where I would have closed the buy and then waited for the sell to trickle down. But that never happened. So it's like, then I have this here as a possible area. So that could be what I'm doing. If I were to do the, you know, two candle theory, based upon this wick rejection, we expect the next candle to also close bullish. We're getting close to the, end of day, and so it's like this is where you really got to start being careful with your trades, to make sure that you don't get caught up in just the higher higher swap fees, higher spreads. Sorry, I just lost my words for a second. So I don't really want to do anything right now, but what could have been my plan? Current plan, looking at the way this, or not current plan, the plan that I could have had is after seeing this rejection coming in from management, it's like, okay, cool. What do I expect? I expect the next candle to go up based upon this evidence here. Dropping down to the 5-minute, what do I have? Well, this is where I'd look for zones and patterns and things of that nature to try to build credibility that price is going to go up. And so looking back at this, I got a 50% zone there. It is a small area when you start looking at the 4-hour. There isn't really much to work with. And so what else could we have? When it comes down to it, this is probably the next cleanest. You have test, 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 break there, test. Got a little fuzzy here, but then on the next candle open, we have price come down into this area, reject, 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 pop up out of this area, and then strongly come down and give you a rejection. Now, for a lot of people who have learned patterns, this would just be a double bottom. And for me, I like seeing double bottoms in an uptrend, not just anywhere. And so given that I'm expecting price to go up, this could have been a nice opportunity to get in there, have a little bit tighter stop loss here, just as another hedge. So basically I would have closed the sell. I would have closed the sell at roughly, why don't you want to work? There we go. Roughly somewhere near 17 pips. Close the sell there. And then I would have had another, 5 pips of possible drawdown into this if it didn't work out. And so I'd set myself up right there and then come for, looking at this level here, like the nearest things that we have is things like this, where we've been respected there. So it's like, could have come before there, got a 1 to 2 of that. And even if I didn't actually take a trade there, would have closed 17 in profit and then bumped up 8. So cut that in half. So it would have been like an 8 pip winner. It would have probably given me like $3, which is not bad for basically a break-even trade or a trade management for a trade that I basically goofed up on. So it's trying to have these thought processes ahead of time, before I get to another level, before I sit back and go, what could I have done? Having these planned out a little bit ahead of time, since you got nothing but time. All you're doing is you're making a plan, you're setting the plan in place, and then you're going with it. So currently right now, I do have this alert set here. If price does come back down here and respect this zone here, I'll use this as like an hourly double bottom in this level and look to close the sell and leave the buy open and just see what happens. If price can come back even to halfway between these 2 points here, I can close this in at break even, and I would have had profit on the sell. So that would get me out of this. Then I wouldn't have to track this anymore. Because unfortunately, I should have been out of it. I should have been out of it way back here when price rolled over and we got out somewhere down here. That's where I should have been out. But lo and behold, mess up. You just got to go with it, roll with it, and take the loss as it is, or take the lesson learned as it is. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and hopefully if you have little goofs ups along your way, along your journey, you won't get beat up over them. They happen. They happen to a lot of people, and they happen to the best of them. I've no other traders who have been doing this for many, many years, and every now and then they still get a goof up. And so, it's, if you can just think about your normal life, how many times you've had an accident doing something, breaking a jar, dropping a cup, dropping a mug, like it just happens. So you just got to move up on your day and continue on. Take care. See you in a bit. 5 o'clock, it's changeover. Still working, so we'll be working for a little while. But looks like we have nothing so far. USD pegged, and so it's like, what would I do? So same thing. Come on, you know the deal. It's just a matter of keeping it consistent, somewhat simple process. Marking my highs, lows, looking for 50% of this wick area. If it's going to reject this area, then not the 5 minute, then somewhere down here on the 30 is what I'd be looking at. So what would I look for? What looks good right now? Can we get a cleaner one? There we go. So what would I be looking for? I would be looking for probably just to retest the highs right there, right in this area here. See how it looks. See if it respects these highs. If it respects these highs, we could be looking for a nice little fall away from here. Stops above there. Go short, go small. 1 to 1. Doesn't have to, you don't have to shoot for the moon. So come in for a 1 to 1. Right about there somewhere. And you look out on the daily, and what is that? What is that to the daily candle? Nothing but a little burp. Not even a full-blown move out of this area here. And the beauty of that is if you get in there, okay, and let's say we're going to go with 2 candle theory. 2 candles, price generally comes and makes a wick. Top wick, bottom wick usually does that. If this is the top wick, then we'll hit our 1 to 1. If we get triggered into this, and this is coming to make a bottom wick for it to continue up, we'll still hit our 1 to 1 before it decides to flip over on us. So the idea is to not shoot for the moon. Find something that makes sense, and and then just play it. So 50% of this area would be somewhere around right here. So we'd easily be able to get that. So whatever this looks like, if we get up in here and it ends up with a bullish candle, a big bullish candle or a bearish candle, then we still have enough room to play with our 1 to 1 before we ever get to the 50% area where price could return. Could price take off from here? Absolutely. But you play the odds. What are the odds? Not very likely. If we do any sort of hindsight, let's look at what this looked like. This would have been an area given this right here. Break and retest, push back. This would have been a high that we could have respected as well. So if we're expecting price to continue down, then it shouldn't break and close above this high, which it didn't. I mean, it came up and rejected it, but failed to break. So drop down to 30 minutes. What do we get? We would have been looking for some sort of respecting of this area here, that high, because that's the only structure I see there. And we didn't get that. So there was no entry here. Now, that's not to say you couldn't have sit here and watched it and go, okay, cool. Price broke up, then immediately came back under strong, came up and retested this area again. Could you have taken that? Maybe. Like, that's, if you waited for that candle to close, then your stops would have been up here. Your take profit would have been 1 to 1. What does that look like? You would have played in this for a little while, but you would have made it. But that all depends on your trading style. If that's how you mark up your charts, if that's what you're waiting for, if that's what you're planning on, then you execute the way you feel comfortable, and that'll be perfect. So as it sits right now, though, I think that's all I got here. I'll mark up what I'm planning for that. Although once again, probably won't take anything. It's 5. Spreads are wider. I don't know what the actual spreads on USD JPY, but um, according to FX.com, we're looking at a 10 pip spread. So it's a little too high for me. You figure that's a third of your stop loss, 30 your take profit, and just spread alone. So no, thank you. But that is that. I wish you guys the best. Wish you guys a blessed day. See you tomorrow, perhaps. We'll see what tomorrow brings. All right, you guys have a good time.